Tennis. G'day, welcome to this Australian Open Live, and we're live from Melbourne, Australia, the home of the Australian Open. But while we're waiting for the match between Sofia Kenin of the United States and Ana Bogdan of Romania, we're just waiting for that match on the grandstand court to finish between Stan Wawrinka and the Japanese player. It is Nishioka. Currently Stan Wawrinka ahead in the second set, 5-2. He leads 7-6. But while we're waiting for that match to finish, so we can go to our broadcast match, we're just going to tread water in a productive way by just tracking another fan favourite, Venus Williams, 43 years of age, playing her first round women's singles match. She's playing the Belgian player Minnen there, and they are underway on Arthur Ashe Stadium. Not a bad way to start your US Open, is it, for either player? They're both unseeded, so the Belgian player, she'd be happy with that, wouldn't she? She's currently trailing 30-40 in her first service game and takes it to deuce, and Venus Williams winning the opening game of this match. She is leading 1-love at the moment in this match. So for old time's sake, we saw this match there in the schedule, and we thought, what better way to pass the time while we wait for our broadcast match there with Sofia Kenin, to spend some time with Venus Williams and greet Minnen of Belgium. Both of these players unseeded. Venus Williams comes into the US Open. We all know everything about her, except did you know this? Ranked 410 in the world at the moment, and her opponent, Greet Minnen, no doubt relishing the chance to play a Grand Slam showcase match on Arthur Ashe Stadium, prime time in the US. This girl ranked 62 in the world, and she's coming up against one of the greatest players ever produced by the American tennis system. So we've chucked some details in the chat there for you about this match. And if you want to follow the game live on the tracker there, the Slam tracker, you can do that yourself by clicking the link that we've dropped in there, which is there for you. We just can't scroll down. For some reason, it won't let us scroll down on the screen. So you can follow the stats there yourself, and we'll just pass some time and we'll keep an eye on that match with Stan Wawrinka there. And while they are continuing there on Arthur Ashe Stadium and the grandstand court, let's have a short break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. We tell stories and our story is tennis. G'day, welcome back to this Australian Open Live. Coming to you live from Melbourne, Australia, home of the Australian Open. But at 9:30 local time in Melbourne here, it is just ticking around to about 7:30 in the evening there in New York. It is 25 degrees. The sun's going down, and while the sun goes down, there's more clouds than sun at the moment there in New York. So what we're doing at the moment, we're just passing a bit of time. If you just joined us, where have you been? We've been going for a little bit this morning already. We've already covered one match this morning. Karolina Pliskova getting up against Rus from Romania, the 25th seed, going through the second round. And while we wait for our can't find the adjective. We're waiting for the match between Sofia Kenin and Ana Bogdan of Romania. The American back on her home court. She's sitting at 101 in the world. Missed out on a main draw spot. Got through and is on her way back after a couple of years of just really frustrating injuries. And she's one of our favourites. Can't believe our luck. But our bad luck with Stan Wawrinka currently on court, the grandstand court. So once that match between Stan Wawrinka and Nishioka, the Japanese player, concludes, they've just gone into the third set. Stan Wawrinka leads 7-6, 6-2. Once that match finishes, Sofia Kenin, Ana Bogdan will be on court warming up, and we're going to cover the first set in full of that match. And as they like to say in the classics, normal broadcasting will resume. I was a bit slow with the mouse there, but while we're waiting for Stan Wawrinka, his match to conclude, and before Sofia Kenin takes the court, the grandstand court, and gets stuck into greet Minnen of Belgium, we're going to spend some time on Arthur Ashe Stadium. Two unseeded players facing off in their first round match for the 2023 US Open. It's Greet Minnen of Belgium. She is up against one of the all-time greats, Venus Williams, still kicking around the traps, and she is 43 and ranked 410 in the world, and she's still getting a spot. She's still getting a start at her home Grand Slam. So good on her. Good on her. Like, well done. And don't the Americans love the Williams sisters? So not a bad way for us to pass some time, as that match is now into its third game of the first set. And Greet Minnen, at the moment, she is leading 2-0, but trailing love 30 on the serve of Venus Williams, who is still sending down serves at 111 miles per hour. So no mean feat. So you've got to applaud these champions. I'm not too convinced myself that somebody in their 40s is preventing younger players, and in this case younger American players, American girls coming through the ranks, taking a spot of someone who might benefit more at this stage. But you can't deny the passion to compete of elite level sportsmen and sportswomen in any sport, never mind tennis. We often see, Roger Federer is the perfect example in the men's tour. If you're fit enough and you're willing enough and you're dedicated enough and you're passionate enough and you can take pride out of your performance and you're confident enough to take the court and get the job done, well, it doesn't matter what age you are, does it? Why should we send people packing into retirement just because of a number beside their name that indicates their age? Why not? So let's enjoy Venus Williams while she's out here on court serving at 30-15. I don't know that this is going to be the quickest women's singles match ever contested, but that's okay, because that means if it does go the distance, if it does go over a fair old duration amount of time, then that's all the more better for us as tennis fans, that we get to see Venus Williams in action. And for the young kids, the young girls who enjoy seeing their favourite tennis players, and they can dream of emulating Venus Williams in their future tennis careers, that's something for them to tell their grandkids, that in 2023 they watched 41-year-old Venus Williams, 43, I beg your pardon, Venus, 43 years old, kicking around Arthur Ashe Stadium, kicking off the night session, the showcase, show court session in prime time in the US. How would you like to be on primetime TV at the US Open in America? That would be a pretty decent gig to be the star of. So we don't begrudge you that at all. So don't go away. We'll be right back. We tell stories, and our story is tennis. G'day, welcome back to this Australian Open Live. Live from Melbourne, Australia. It's just ticking around 9:36 here local time, and in New York it's about 7:35 or 6 p.m. in the evening. 25 degrees, no sign of rain. Pretty decent weather for tennis there, although I'm not sure, does Arthur Ashe Stadium have a roof? That no matter. Today it's all clear, except for some clouds in the New York night sky there. So we're following the match here on Arthur Ashe Stadium, because our featured match between that was going to be our second featured match of the morning, between Sofia Kenin, the American, and Ana Bogdan of Romania. That match is delayed because Stan Wawrinka is doing his thing on the grandstand court, and that match is progressing at a snail's pace. Even though they're 3 sets in, an hour and 43 minutes in, it is Stan Wawrinka 7-6, 6-2. Love won in the third set, 40-love on serve, and if he takes out this third set as a straight sets victory, all the better for us. We will only have to wait about half an hour or so before the Sofia Kenin and Ana Bogdan come out to start warming up. And Stan Wawrinka has drawn level at 1 game all in the third set. So in the meantime, we are doing this. Yep, we are living vicariously through our browser with this live match play coverage of the match on Arthur Ashe Stadium between Minnen, the Belgian player, and Venus Williams, ranked 400 and something in the world at the moment. It's their first round women's singles match on day 2 at the US Open 2023, and what better way to kill some time waiting for the featured match of the day than spend some time with Venus Williams. And of course we're happy to spend some time with Minnen as well, because we get to learn a bit about her. It's fair to say that we know a fair bit as a tennis loving community, Grand Slams being our thing at this Australian Open Life. But the reason we choose these matches that are slightly off Broadway is we get to learn a bit about the players behind the scenes, who are behind the headlines and a long way off getting their own headlines at the moment. So let's take a look into the kit bag, metaphorically speaking, of Greet Minnen from Belgium. Let's shine a spotlight on Greet Minnen from Belgium, which is one of the great things we like to do here at this Australian Open Live. And in the chat box you will see the link to the Slam Tracker, the live match scores, and I'm going to throw in the player profiles for both these players as well in the chat, and let us know what you think about this match while we're covering it. Because at the moment, Venus Williams is having a tough time getting through her service games. She lost her opening service game, and she is now at deuce in her second service game. She wants to hold to go to a 1-2 scoreline and show Greet Minnen just who's boss and whose turf she is running around in there at Arthur Ashe Stadium at the Billie Jean King National Tennis Centre there in Flushing Meadow, New York. This match, it's been going about 20 minutes, and we'll just refresh the screen because I don't trust this browser. Yeah, Greet Minnen has broken the serve of Venus Williams at the 20-minute mark, and she now leads in the first set 3-love. So let's take a look at the career of Greet Minnen. And that stinger just letting you know we're switching things up a gear. So Greet Minnen, she's ranked 62 in the world at the moment. She's in her mid-20s and plays right-handed. So let's take a look at the stats that matter for this player on serve. When she's facing a break point, she saves that break point on her serve 62% of the time. And interestingly, so she must be a fairly strong character, fairly strong mentality to be able to withstand that pressure. But when she's up against, she's got a break point opportunity in front of her from her opponent, and that's the best way to put pressure on your opponent and win the match is break their serve, of course. That's why we like to focus on these stats. Well, she only converts 32% of every break point that she faces. So she maybe wants to improve on that, I'm sure. Elite sports people are often never satisfied with their performance. They're always thinking about ways they can improve. Well, next, let's take a look at this. Because we want to get a feel for the sort of form that Greet Minnen was enjoying between Wimbledon through the US hardcourt season and coming into this match up against Venus Williams. Well, after Wimbledon, she competed there, got through qualifying and lost in the first round at Wimbledon, but we're more interested in how she performed in Prague at the Live Sport Prague Open. That was a 250 Challenger event on a hard court, not clay. That's surprising. She had to go in to that tournament through qualifying, and she lost her first round qualifying match against a Czech player playing in her hometown tournament. That was Gabriela Knudsen, and Minnen losing there in straight sets, 3-6, 3-6. And currently Greet Minnen is down love 30 on serve. Venus Williams making a bit of a case, but Greet Minnen stabilising there a bit, now at 15-30 in the fourth game of the second set. But after losing that first round qualifying match in Prague, she went on to the Polish Open and did very well, thank you very much. And let me tell you why. Let's go through these matches. In the round of 32, as a direct entrant, she was up against the Croatian, is that Croatia? Petra Marchenko. Minnen won that match 6-1, 6-0. A Swiss player, another straight sets win. Susan Bandecki was no match, losing in straight sets 6-2, 6-2. The German player Eva Leis, the ninth seed in this tournament. The quarterfinal victory went to the Belgian player Greet Minnen, 6-love, 7-6. Nice work. And then the semi-final, up against the local Polish player, a wildcard entry, Maja Chawalinska. And the Polish crowd would have been a bit disappointed to see their local girl go down in the semi-finals in straight sets, 6-4, 6-3. And it was the Ukrainian coming up to greet Minnen at the net, because when that match concluded, they were shaking hands to acknowledge the victory in 3 sets by the number 8 seed from Ukraine, Diana Yastramenska, winning 6-2, 2-6, 6-1, 6-3. That another hard court tournament in Poland. That's interesting. That WTA 125 tournament. So let's just check back in on Arthur Ashe Stadium and see how Venus Williams is tracking in the first set against Greet Minnen of Belgium. And as it turns out, it is deuce on the serve of Greet Minnen. So Venus Williams making a bit of a case to, well, she's just got to try and break the serve here, and she's got her first chance. Where Greet Minnen loses that service point, she's been forced into an error on the forehand by Venus Williams, which the crowd no doubt will be going bonkers about. I'm sure this crowd is at capacity at the moment in Arthur Ashe Stadium. It would have been no secret that Venus Williams was prime time slot on US TV nationwide for everyone to see her go round yet again at 43 years of age. And Greet Minnen says, well, I've got something to say about that, and she sends down across the net the ball. Venus Williams just can't deal with it and is forced into an error on her forehand. And now Greet Minnen wins consecutive points to go to advantage on her own serve in the 4th game of the 2nd set, and serving at 104 miles per hour to win that point. And we'll just stick with this. We're going to stick with this match either until the end of the first set or until the match on the current match on the grandstand court between Stan Wawrinka and Nishioka of Japan. They are currently they're into the 5th game of the 4th set, and the Japanese player is trailing 2 sets to love. So we're basically killing time at the moment until the match between Sofia Kenin, our featured showcase match for the late morning here in Melbourne, Australia. She's up against Ana Bogdan of Romania, and they'll be playing on the grandstand court at the completion of the match between Stan Wawrinka and Nishioka, and that's the match that we'll take a full set of coverage for to conclude our coverage for today, where we've been highlighting and focusing on the women's side of the draw at the US Open. Yesterday, we had a nice morning tracking the progress of a couple of matches there on some of the outside courts off Broadway. And today, after focusing on the men yesterday, we're focusing on the women. We're on Arthur Ashe Stadium court. Venus Williams finds herself love 4 down in the first set, but 30 love up on her serve at the moment. She's had her serve broken twice in this opening set of this first round match. And we've put in the chat a little bit of information for you, not too much. We don't want to overload you with this particular match, as Venus Williams sends down a serve at 112 miles per hour. The second serve now going at 92 miles per hour. She's trying to get some traction in this first set, but Greet Minnen is not having a bar of it, actually, and she's putting a lot of pressure on the serve of Venus Williams and not giving her a look in this first set at all. She's now trailing 15-30 on the serve of Venus Williams and leading 4 love in this first set. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll see if Venus Williams can get some traction at 40-15 up, whether she's won the first service game of this first set in this round one women's singles match at the US Open 2023. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
This song is Spring Street.
We tell stories and our story is tennis. Welcome back to Wise Words Media's this Australian Open Live, coming to you live from Melbourne, Australia. This live match play coverage of the match between Greet Minnen of Belgium and Venus Williams, the 43-year-old former Grand Slam champion. This match taking place prime time coverage in across, no doubt, across the US there with this match where Venus Williams currently trails 1-4. She's finally on the scoreboard after half an hour of graft and grit, and no doubt plenty of advice and raucous encouragement from that in-your-face New York crowd, cheering her on to yet another victory. Well, she's got her work cut out for her because Greet Minnen is in some kind of form. She, in her most recent tournament, Greet Minnen was a finalist at the Polish Open, losing in the final to the Ukrainian Diana Yastramenska, and in no disgrace whatsoever, that match going 3 sets. But unfortunately, after winning the first set, Greet Minnen couldn't save the day and earn a title there. But she would have been encouraged by that, and she finds herself well in control of this match. Her opponent, a former Grand Slam champion and one of the legends of modern day tennis, Venus Williams. I still remember her and her sister bursting onto the scene in the early 90s, I think it was. A couple of 15, 16-year-olds, literally straight out of Compton, with their extravagant style and finesse and power, and motoring around the women's tour for 3 or 4 or 5 years in these very exuberant braided dreadlocks. It was they were and flying around, bouncing around off their racket, their backs, their heads, and here she is, some 25 years later, as a 43-year-old mum, kicking around Arthur Ashe Stadium at the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in New York. So we're following this match at the moment and paying it the respect it deserves, because we're just killing some time waiting for our featured showcase women's match to start this morning. And the delay to that match, which should have got underway at around about 7 p.m. local New York time, about 45 minutes ago. But that match yet to start because old man Stan Wawrinka He's doing very nicely, thank you very much, in the sunset of his career. He's not ready to hang up his racket yet. In the first round of the men's singles, we covered the men's singles copiously yesterday, so we're not doing the men today, we're doing the women. But we're mentioning Stan Wawrinka in dispatches because it's due to the fact that his match is still in progress. They're currently in the third set. He's leading 2-1 at the moment. He's leading the Japanese player Nishioka 7-6, 6-2. It is 2-all at deuce in the fifth game of the third set. So the Japanese player, geez, Japan has produced some nice players over the years, haven't they? Does anyone know what's happened to Kei Nishikori at all recently, in recent years? Let us know in the chat. And let me tell you all about the chat very briefly next. Yeah, a bit of housekeeping as Stan Wawrinka is finding this particular game at the moment a little bit of a battle. He's trying to break the serve of Nishioka. He only needs to break it once and then win this match in straight sets. But that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Nishioka says nah. He's got advantage on serve, his own serve, and sends a second serve down at 94 miles per hour. He wants to maintain some scoreboard integrity here. He wants to go to a 3-2 lead in the fifth set. So this could be the key to the match overall, as Wawrinka says. He actually, Nishioka, feeling the pressure a little bit in trying to win that game, loses that service point with a backhand volley, and that was an unforced error. So Stan Wawrinka's into his head a bit here, and looking to get to a break point opportunity to go to a 3-2 lead. So let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. So what's your thoughts about this match underway between Greet Minnen and Venus Williams? Well, let us know. Join the conversation. You only have to be a subscriber to this platform for a grand total of 60 seconds. And why not start the conversation? Are you enjoying seeing Venus Williams run round Arthur Ashe Stadium? Or do you think she should, maybe it's time to hang up the racket and let the next generation come in and build up some experience and build up some confidence? The American women's ranks has been pretty healthy the last 2 to 3 years. The US men are finally getting their act together. It's good to see. It's nice to see some American men finally getting some traction late into the first week through to the second week of Grand Slams and various other tournaments, and hitting the rankings. So good for American tennis means good for us all overall. And what else? We've put some brief details there in the chat there for you about this match. Some links to the live slam tracker for this particular match off the US Open website, and also the player profile. So we're going to take a bit of a break, and in about 3 to 4 minutes we'll come back, and we will continue while we're waiting for this match, which I can see that I can see the score there. Venus Williams serving to stay in this first set, and we're going to stay with this match just briefly. We're going to stay with this match until the match between Sofia Kenin and Ana Bogdan of Romania starts on the grandstand court, and that starts immediately after the match between Stan Wawrinka and Nishioka of Japan, who took out his service game at the 2-hour mark. He leads 3-2 in the third set. So we've got to play it by ear, because if Nishioka makes a game of this and wins the next 2 sets, we're going to be waiting a long time. It's going to be a late night for Sofia Kenin, and I hope for her sake that this match Wawrinka does take it out quickly, that she can enjoy a late night session in front of a great crowd there in New York. She deserves it. She's a great player. She's a fighter and a scrapper, and she'll put on a show, some great value for us. So anyway, we're going to take a break of 3 to 4 minutes, and when we come back, we will be back to Arthur Ashe Stadium to see if Venus Williams has made any sort of a dent into the game of Greet Minnen, the Belgian player ranked 62 in the world. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
This stop is Spring Street.
Tonight for this very special Queen Victoria Market night market, which is all about welcoming our international students. Students over the last 3 years, and we've also been so grateful to those who stayed for persisting and showing so much resilience. Our latest stats show that there are 138,000 international students back in Victoria, which is 92% of pre-pandemic levels. Woohoo! Because if international students aren't just valuable on our campuses and in our tertiary institutions. They're fantastic customers and consumers. They're wonderful participants and volunteers. They're incredible workers in our local businesses particularly, and this is about setting up relationships for the long term. If you are an international student, could you please put your hand up?
Tennis. Good morning. If you're just joining us, where have you been? We've been here for a while, at around, it's just ticked over past 10 o'clock this morning here in Melbourne, Australia, the home of the Australian Open, the home of Wise Words Media, which is the producer of this Australian Open Live. And today we are focusing on the women's matches today. Yesterday we focused on the men. And today we're focusing on live matches, broadcasting live match play to our listeners all around the world. Thanks for joining us at the US Open 2023. It's the first round of the women's singles on day 2 that we're focusing on. And we've got a couple of good matches, a cracker of a match coming up later this morning, Melbourne time. Hopefully that match between Sofia Kenin and Ana Bogdan of Romania, hopefully that'll get started reasonably soon. And my hopes are buoyed by just checking in with Stan Wawrinka, who is currently on the grandstand court, and at the completion of his match against Nishioka, the Japanese player, Sofia Kenin and Ana Bogdan, the two unseeded women's players, they'll be able to get on court and start warming up. But for the time being, in the third set, leading 4-3, and he's down love 15 on serve in the 8th game of the third set, but leading 2 sets to 0, I beg your pardon. 7-6, 6-2, Stan Wawrinka leading this match. He'll be looking to go to a 5-3 lead, but I tell you what, if he keeps serving like this and making unforced errors, he's not going to finish the job very quickly because he's down love 30 on serve. So we're just killing some time across on Arthur Ashe Stadium, this match, which we're just lazily keeping an eye on to keep ourselves occupied, to pass the time pleasantly until our featured showcase match starts between Kenin and Bogdan. And we've plucked out of thin air the match between Greet Minnen of Belgium on Arthur Ashe Stadium. She is playing possibly not just Venus Williams, she's probably battling against about 30 to 50,000 roaring Yanks in the audience in that stadium, and they'll be cheering their guts out because trailing 1-5, she's lost 2 to 3 service games in this first set, but she's currently up on serve 40-30, Venus Williams. So you can bet London to a brick that Venus Williams will be floating on the cheers of every New Yorker with lungs and tennis fan. Don't forget, Venus Williams, a fan favourite for her. She's been playing about 25 years, I reckon. And she's currently serving second serve at 82 miles per hour. This match trudging along at a snail's pace. The match duration 42 minutes, but it feels like about an hour and a half these girls have been going. But anyway, that's nothing detrimental. That's just the way it is. So if I was Venus Williams, I would be pacing myself actually, because why not use frustration as a strategy? Try and frustrate your younger opponent to get into her head a bit and make her earn her keep. So we'll just refresh this browser as we're going along, and that's not how you do it. You click this button actually, and Venus Williams currently on serve, and as the browsers keep disappearing in front of my eyes, I can see that Greet Minnen has won the first set 6-1, and in the first opening service game on serve, she's up advantage, and that is the key to staying abreast of things. You got to keep refreshing these browsers sometimes, as Venus Williams goes down 1-6 in the first set, and she's also now down love 1 to the service game of Greet Minnen in the second set. So we're just following this match, and to bring you up to date with Stan Wawrinka and Nishioka. They're on the grandstand court, and the reason we're keeping track of these chaps, as Stan Wawrinka has been brought back to deuce, as Nishioka wins that point with a forehand smash winner. Nice work, young fella. And Stan Wawrinka says, "Nah, well, I'll have a bit of a say about this," and he just pulls out the lazy ace to go to advantage on serve. Now, if he wins this service game, Stan Wawrinka is looking at taking out this match, but he's got to break the serve of the Japanese player to do it. And as soon as Stan Wawrinka wins this match, then Sofia Kenin will be on court warming up with Ana Bogdan of Romania, and we'll be shutting down this particular broadcast of the Venus Williams match. She is now currently serving, and we'll just refresh that screen there for you. And it's coming up now. Chat amongst yourselves. What's the weather like in your part of the world today? And she's lost her first service point. She's trailing love 15 on serve, love 1 in the second set, 1-6 in the match. She's 1 set down and looking at a first round exit this year in the first round of the US Open, the women's singles match there on Arthur Ashe Stadium. But meanwhile, back at the ranch on grandstand court, things are looking a bit dicey for the Japanese player Nishioka, and let's just be respectful. Let's just be respectful and just make sure it is Yoshihito Nishioka. He is serving to stay alive. He's serving for his life to stay in this match, this first round match, and he hasn't started off too well. It's a backhand forced error from Yoshihiro Nishioka, and Stan Wawrinka. He's up 15 love at the moment. So for a bit of fun, let's follow this match through to its conclusion. And we need to do this. So that stinger just letting you know we're just recalibrating, a little bit of a change of direction. That on your screen you'll have the live score there for Venus Williams. Struggling on serve. She's really struggling, and she has struggled all match, to be fair to her opponent, who is just about having the final word on everything here at the moment. She has 3 breakpoint opportunities up against Venus Williams, but for fun, we're going to follow the match between Stan Wawrinka point by point as he tries to break the serve of Yoshihiro Nishioka, who is Stan Wawrinka. There's a couple of unforced errors coming into play here. One from Yoshihiro Nishioka, a backhand forced error, a backhand forced error from Stan Wawrinka. So they're trading blows here, these blokes. Wawrinka 1 point away, but just as he's getting to the business end of this match, he's letting a couple of errors into his play on the backhand. But look, in all fairness, they're forced errors. So Yoshihiro Nishioka, he's spit it out. He is doing the right thing and putting up a good fight here. He's no slouch with a racket, Yoshihiro Nishioka, 44 in the world, been kicking around for a while at 27 years of age. He's a left-handed player. We like them. Two-handed backhand player, coached by Christian Zalhaka, and the Swiss player has made another forced error. So is he tightening up, or is the Japanese player suddenly realising the stakes that are at play? Let me know. Join the conversation and let me know what your thoughts are. So as Stan Wawrinka loses that opportunity to break the serve, he never even put pressure on the serve there. He was looking like he was heading in that direction, Stan Wawrinka. But ultimately, Yoshihiro Nishioka was able to get through that service game. He now trails in the third set, 4-5, and he trails in the match by 2 sets to love. And meanwhile, on Arthur Ashe Stadium, Greet Minnen has jumped out in no time to a 3-0 lead in the second set. She won the first set 6-1, and we're just waiting on play to recommence on Arthur Ashe Stadium. Venus Williams will serve next, and if Greet Minnen gets through this second set quickly to win the match, which I'm tipping she will, we'll conclude this particular live broadcast and come back later on when Sofia Kenin takes grandstand court. So we're not finished. We're not done with for today at all. Following this match between Williams and Minnen, we will be coming back with coverage of Kenin and Bogdan. So while we are taking a deep breath, let's do this. And so, it's a bit accidental today. We didn't mean to be taking in any information about men's matches today, but just a quirk of timing, a quirk of fate sees us following Stan Wawrinka on grandstand court, because once his match concludes, we'll be able to set up shop and enjoy the match between Sofia Kenin and Anna Bogdan. We'll give you a full set of coverage with that match and then conclude for the day. But it's kind of nice to see a couple of former Grand Slam champions. Venus Williams going around at the age of 43, and it's great to see Stan Wawrinka. He's in the sunset years of his tennis career, but it looks like well and truly he is far from done yet, as he goes 15-love up on his serve there, and brought back level there, Nishioka, Yoshihiro Nishioka, bringing him back to 15 all. Meanwhile, on Arthur Ashe Stadium, Venus Williams is having a torrid old time. She's only won one of her service games so far in the 2 sets that have been underway, and Minnen cracks the serve again of Venus Williams with a forehand winner, and brings back the score to 15 all in the 4th game of the second set. Meanwhile, Stan Wawrinka, we shouldn't forget, is serving for the match on the grandstand court. He hasn't had it all his own way because they've been playing for 2 hours and 23 minutes. Serves at 119 miles per hour on his second serve, and Yoshihiro Nishioka goes, well, that's in my hitting zone, and he cracks a backhand winner to the other side of the court, and now it is 30 all. In this 10th game of the 3rd set. Stan Wawrinka winning the first set tiebreaker 7-5, and then having a reasonably clear run through the second set, taking that 6-2. And if he can hold serve here, he can go to win the match on a 6-4 scoreline, and he's now on match point. match point coming up for Stan Wawrinka on the grandstand court in his first round men's singles match at the 2023 US Open. And on the other side of the net, waiting for that first or second serve, is Yoshihiro Nishioka. He is ranked, I said it before, didn't I? I've just forgot, I've closed that tab. But he's no slouch with a racket, a very well credentialed elite level tennis player. And with this match having gone for 2 hours and 24 minutes, the ball is in play, and I'd say it's off the second serve of the racket of Stan Wawrinka, and we'll wait for this to refresh. The winners in this set is well in favour of Wawrinka at 37 winners to 23 clear winners, and looks like a long rally is taking place after that second serve goes down now, and that's it. That's the match. Stan Wawrinka wins in straight sets, 7-6, 6-2, 6-4 in 2 hours and 24 minutes. So let's take a deep breath and don't go away. We'll be right back. We tell stories, and our story is tennis. And the story of the morning is Karolina Pliskova, our featured match earlier this morning. She's gone through in straight sets against Rus of Romania. And while we were waiting for the match on the grandstand court, that has just completed. Stan Wawrinka going through to the second round. He wins in straight sets against the Japanese player Yoshihiro Nishioka, 7-6, 6-2, 6-4. And meanwhile, on Arthur Ashe Stadium, which we've been following purely by accident, really, because it wasn't our plan to follow this match on Arthur Ashe Stadium between Greet Minnen, the Belgian player. This is no doubt prime time featured coverage on the US networks, Venus Williams. But unfortunately, her first round match in the women's singles, she has struggled all the way through, failing to put any sort of a dent in the game or the confidence of the young Belgian player. Well, young by comparison at 25, Venus Williams 43. But Greet Minnen is well on her way to a corker of a win on Arthur Ashe Stadium. She'll be enjoying this experience in front of a crowd that no doubt are nowhere near in her corner. She is up 30-love and 4-love on serve in the second set. So what we're going to do here is we'll assume that Greet Minnen is a winner there on Arthur Ashe Stadium, and for ourselves, we're going to now finish up this broadcast of this particular match on Arthur Ashe Stadium, and we really appreciate you joining us and keeping us company, because now we're going to just shut down for the moment and set up things behind the scenes and come back in about 10 or 15 minutes, because no doubt Stan Wawrinka is going through all the formalities of the post-match interview on court, and once he's done with that, there'll be a short break on grandstand court, and no doubt Sofia Kenin and Ana Bogdan of Romania, the American, will be a real crowd favourite, and we're so thrilled. Love Sofia Kenin, great player to watch, and we'll come back after that. So that's all from us for now. You've been listening to me, the bloke who walks, and it's this Australian Open Live, produced by Wise Words Media, live match play coverage from Melbourne, Australia, of the US Open 2023. This has been day 2, and it's still day 2, and it's going to still be day 2 when we come back. The first round today, we're focusing on the women's singles only. Yesterday, we saw 2 matches on the men's side of the draw. We love bringing you information about the players that are generally not in the headlines. We want to learn about them, see them, because it's in those ranks of those players. They're not also Rans, they're not on the fringes as far as we're concerned. They are every bit as important and interesting to watch and follow and learn about as the elite level players. So that's all from us for now. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and bye for now. Oh, it's not there.